Good morning, everybody. It's like around 6 a.m. here. This isn't exactly a cancer update, I suppose. It's more of just a general hello, how you doing? Making these YouTube videos have become a bit of a outlet. This isn't quite a cancer update, but I will mention that my hair is growing back despite the treatment, which I put in my last video, which is pretty cool. I have officially 2 more rounds of chemotherapy to go. I still have to have another PET scan and everything, but it is looking really good. I am so relieved. I cannot express the immense gratitude I have about the fact that I can stay around for my daughter. That is huge. But yeah, I think I've been thinking about a few things being in the caravan. And again, this is veering off the cancer update, so if you want to scroll on, scroll on. But I have been thinking about society and society issues, which I think a lot of us have. And I live in Australia. My country is, I think, a good country. Probably one of the best countries, apart from all the venomous snakes and spiders and the sun that always wants to kill you. But apart from that, in terms of just day-to-day living, very, very good country. But it is strange to me that I've noticed such a shift from even when I was a little girl in the skill set that people were given. And I don't think it's right to turn around and talk about the younger generation being, incompetent or whatever. Obviously you see things online where they're like, oh, this generation doesn't have skills, blah, blah, blah. And it's yeah, but it's bred out of them. When I was a little girl, I used to know a man that used to be able to make his own diesel and grow his own food and just had every single skill set that you could imagine. And he was a man in the community that just helped everyone. He was with the local church and he just helped anyone. He was a good person, And he might watch a little bit of telly in the afternoon. But that was it. He had no vices, he had no addictions, he had nothing. He just lived a good life, and he was a very, very useful person, and a very loving person as well. But yeah, now I see a lot of social media, and it's flooded with buy this online course, buy this, buy that, buy this product. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying you can't make money online. You definitely can. You should probably try and do it. That's great. But we have such an AI influence these days. You can't Google anything without AI telling you what to think, how to think it, the best product to buy. And I'm not saying that it can't be brilliant, I'm not saying that it doesn't save time and all of that. My point is essentially, I feel sad for humanity because I feel as though people don't really have a chance, really, to get ahead how they should be able to. And I don't mean just being rich or successful or a good worker or whatnot, but the cost of living is actually insane. If you don't have someone leaving you assets to inherit, if you don't have someone leaving you whatever, you're going to be very hard pressed to get into the rental market in my country. And not only that, but young people are very much, and not even young people, I know grandmas that are struggling in the rental crisis. So it's not an age thing, it's a society thing that's happening right now. Sorry if that's not the most educated way of wording it. But if you have land, for example, I have farming experience, I have quite a few skill sets that other people my age don't have. But if you can raise your own animals, make your own dairy, if you just have a dairy animal, you can make your own milk, cheese, butter. You're saving all that money. But yes, you have to have land, you have to have fences, you have to have that sort of thing. But once you have your setup, you should always have your setup before you get your animals. Once you have your setup, you're able to do those things. Once you have chickens, you're able to breed them on and on and on and on and on. You can eat them, you can have their eggs, you can use their poop in the garden, although it has to go through a whole compost process. But you can do that. You can do that with ducks, you can do that with turkeys, you can get an incubator, you can have a turnaround so quickly for your own food supply, and you can just keep it going forever, where you are not really paying that much for it. Again, you have to have land. Like, if your animals can go out on the land, you're not going to have to feed them as much as if you have less land. But this is what I'm saying. Like, you're able to be self-sufficient. If you're able to start your own gardens, right? Like, if I go to Coles now, when I don't have any farm, if I go to Coles now and I try and get, make ingredients for, salad wraps or, sandwiches and things like that, the produce alone could cost me easily $70, depending on how much I'm buying and all that sort of stuff. But it's not a cheap thing. Whereas if I have a garden, I can do that. I can replant seeds. I can have a whole rotational system going. I can also rotate my animals so they're eating less grass and stuff. Anyway, look. What I'm realizing with society is that we're basically being taken off our land. Like, land used to be, not our land, I don't mean like that, but we've been taken away from the ability to be self-sufficient. We're not taught how to build things with our own hands. We're not taught how to do our own plumbing, electrical, carpentry, all this sort of stuff. You can do them. There are actually some really good courses at TAFE and stuff like that. But oftentimes people are so time poor just trying to survive that, they don't really fit that in, or they can't fit that in, or it stresses them out too much. But I would encourage getting any trade you can, always. Go learn how to do your own plumbing. Then go learn how to do carpentry. Then go learn how to preserve your food. Then go learn how to sew. Then, because you don't have to sew from scratch. You can get your own sheep and do wool, but you don't have to do that. You can go to a thrift shop. We have so much fast fashion. We have so much stuff. You can literally go in, get some dress you like the look of. You can turn that into pants and a top. You can, whatever. What I'm saying is skills are so missing. And also, I understand that some people are vegetarian, some people eat meat. But here's some calculations I did. You can, obviously you have to have land, you have to have property, you have to have all this stuff, and that's pretty insane in today's economy. Not many people can buy land. But if you manage to have land or lease land or buy direct from a farmer or something like that, you can save literally thousands of dollars on food just by raising your own. Thousands. I get that the lifestyle isn't for everybody, but at the end of the day, we all come back to surviving on a top layer of soil and food, water. That's what our survival all comes down to. And you'll see a lot of gamers and people that do these sort of things talk about apocalypses and all of that, and it's well, okay, but what happens when you fought all the zombies? You do realize if any sort of apocalypse happens, you have to rebuild that society, right? It's not all just about war and la-da-da. That's something else I was going to talk about. People are basically being treated like cattle. We can't afford our own land. Land is power. Excuse me. Land is power. You have land. You can save your own money. You can start your own business. You can do tours. You can sell flowers. Whatever you want to do, And you can also have a job. Multiple streams of income is great. You can be having an online business. Maybe that only makes you $250 a week. That's still $250 a week. Maybe you sell chickens at the market. Maybe you only make $100 every weekend. That's still $100. Maybe you sell, I don't know, something on your website from your farm. Maybe you grow, I don't know, whatever. Maybe you're selling sheep, whatever. Maybe you're selling for $100 each or something. That's still some money every week that builds up, you know? But yeah, land is everything. But essentially what I'm seeing with today's society is most people used to have to be rich to live in the city. But now the poor people live in the city. And the poor people have to keep staying poor because they have to keep buying produce at exorbitant amounts of money. And they have to keep paying insane amounts of rent. And they have to keep paying electricity bills. And they have to keep paying like $100 anytime they want to go out and have a night out with their family. And that's crazy to me. You know, we shouldn't be pricing people out of living. Like, the amount of people that have had to just keep just me alive, like, I will be so grateful for. Like, I have had people that have studied for years and years and years to become the nurse that puts a cannula in my arm. I've had doctors that have studied for years and years and years for the medicine, the scientists that have discovered what medicines work. Like, this is the kind of thing that we should be funding and encouraging in people. Like, you know, even with my glasses, right? Like, I need glasses, I need prescription glasses. Someone really smart had to figure out how eyes work, had to do hours of study, like, just so that I could get glasses. And that's not to mention the people that started, like, the whole optometrist field. We depend on each other as a society. We can't have this lone wolf, I can do it all by myself, thing. No, we have to work together. No person is an island or a village, all on their own. You need a village. You need to be together. There needs to be a functioning together, because at the end of the day, when things hit the fan, we need each other, you know? And that brings me to another problem. So this is very scattered. I'm on steroids and I am a little bit hyped up at the moment, but this is also where technology, you know, you need to be able to use technology as a tool and not have technology use you. And I can't stress that enough. Is another reason that I'm making this video so early in the morning, is because I don't want to be on my phone around my child. I don't want her to see me like this. No. She needs to see me present and in the moment. And if I am using technology, it needs to be used as a tool. It needs to be building a website. It needs to be helping someone in the community. It needs to be finding locations, helping me, like, whatever. It needs to be used as a tool. And I think a lot of people get hit with artificial dopamine all the time because essentially it's almost like zoochosis, right? We're trapped in boxes, we can't afford things, and then we have like a reel going, woohoo, distract you, and then we just flick through that, and it gives dopamine. Or it's gaming that people do, or it's whatever other, you know, or it's like men degrading themselves and becoming victims to porn and screwing their entire lives up and ruining their motivation. And then you have people that just go to their jobs and feel depressed, and that's really it, and there's not much other option. So yeah, I see this current state of society as people being treated like cattle, ridiculously taxed and ridiculously not rewarded for their work as they should be, and not able to get that independence. Because if the Australian government really wanted people to get independent, what they would do is they would give people some land or make it easier for you to be self-sufficient as a person. But yeah, even without that, I think get skills. Get skills where you're not replaceable. You know, go learn carpentry, even if you live in an apartment. Why not? You never know what will open up for you. You might find some awesome, really smart real estate person that has a farm that can help you, or you can help them, you know. Become useful. Don't just squander your life scrolling around. Because it's artificial dopamine, and it will screw you up, and it will screw away your creativity, your motivation, everything. You know, look for ways you can save money, be self-sufficient. Because this society is essentially turning you into a form of cattle, you know, and that's not okay. You're worth more as a person than that. So anyway, that's my daily rant. Bye-bye.